If the atomic bomb had never been invented, the United States would have planned a massive land invasion against Japan instead of using nuclear weapons. Estimates suggest that hundreds of thousands of American soldiers and millions of Japanese civilians would have lost their lives. Japan's surrender would have come much later, and the war might have dragged on until 1946. The Soviet Union declared war on Japan in August 1945. Without the atomic bomb, Soviet advances would have carried greater weight. This could have made the beginning of the Cold War far sharper, with Japan possibly divided into two nations, much like Germany. Without nuclear deterrence, the rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union would have relied more heavily on conventional warfare. The Korean War and the Vietnam War would have been far bloodier, as both sides could deploy larger armies without the looming fear of nuclear catastrophe. The absence of nuclear power plants would have increased dependence on fossil fuels, accelerating environmental problems and making climate change more severe and noticeable earlier. In the space race, the lack of nuclear technology would have slowed progress in rocket fuel and energy systems, delaying achievements by both the United States and the Soviet Union. On the contrary, the likelihood of large-scale wars would have been higher. Instead of nuclear weapons, enormous conventional armies and prolonged wars would have defined the second half of the 20th century. If the atomic bomb had never been invented, the world would have lived with less fear, but far more war. The Cold War would be remembered not for nuclear deterrence, but for constant hot conflicts. Japan might have been divided, Europe might have seen more wars, and although humanity would have escaped the terror of nuclear annihilation, it would have faced a century even further from peace. So what do you think? Was the invention of the atomic bomb ultimately good or bad for humanity?